Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Purgatory. I've been trying this so long, a new daily has popped up. And to be fair, it was like... It was like, 40 minutes to the next one when I started, so, you know, I haven't been trying that long. Nobody needs to come and do a wellness check. No, I may do a few more meldings for shits and giggles, I don't know. It's very dependent on just how tilted I end up. By the end of this. No, melting is getting to me. I have... Oh my god. Don't hold still. Don't waste ammo. Don't get shot. I've tried to record this episode like 3 times. And I've just not been satisfied with it. No, we're not doing that again. This is melting. Melting is difficult. We are gonna die. Sometimes. That's unavoidable. This is essentially nuclear thrown without taking damage. That's gonna be difficult. No two ways about it. And other such things I can say to reassure myself. Bolt Marrow, please save me. Oh no. Oh no. I'm beyond scared. I'm no longer scared, I'm just accepting that this is going to be my life for a while. I don't know. I don't know how many more meltings we'll do. I've got other stuff I've got to do in this game still. I've just got to do a regular loop. Get some loops out of the way. Do more fun nuclear throne stuff before I torture myself with the video game. Oh man, don't let those go to waste. No rads wasted. The post-apocalyptic mutants used every part of the bandits' radioactive waste that they shot. Bolt Marrow, please save me. Laser pistol every goddamn time. Oh no, that's not what I meant to... Oh. Every single enemy can end my run with a single lucky bullet. Another laser pistol. Of course. No, boiling veins. No damage from fire or explosions. Oh my god. Oh my god. Trigger fingers would help a lot here. Doubly so. Scarier face, that's good. That's good. Oh my god. This isn't good for my stress levels, guys. Immune to fire. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So I'm experiencing all 5 stages of grief at once. We've got a crossbow. Come on, bolt marrow. Gotta talk about something. Take my mind off the grind. Okay, so this happened quite a while ago. At the time, I was convinced this was my first paranormal experience. But it turns out, it was sleep paralysis, which was not a whole lot better. So anyway, I was like 8 or 10 or pretty damn young. Like, this was wee lad retro we're talking about here. And I was asleep. I was laying in my bed. This was at a time when we thought our house was haunted. So I'm laying there. It's late. I kind of wake up. A little groggy. My eyes open, and I see a lady with, like, red hair. And a white dress. Silently walking across the room. And I'm immediately like, just like, oh god. I'm too young to see this. This is an actual ghost. And she kind of, walks across the room that my younger sibling and I shared. And kind of looks over at them. Then it starts to turn her head towards me. And I was frozen in place this whole time. I'm like, oh god, this is how I die. She kind of looks down at my younger sibling, and then turns her head to look at me. And I guess that finally broke the sleep paralysis. Because I was then able to move. And I frantically hid under the covers. Just like, I don't know what that was supposed to do to help me. But that's your only instinct when you're a kid. Then I hid there for what must have been, like, hours, Probably. And I finally peeked my head out. Everything was normal. No Victorian ghost women. Oh my god, no. But I was... It was, like, ingrained in my brain. Like, don't... No, no, no. You don't want to see your face. Something terrible is going to be there. I've only had sleep paralysis, like, twice in my life. That time, and once more when I was, like, 21. 21, 22... Yeah, I think, like, 21, 22. Maybe 23. I don't know. The whole, like, 5 years I've been 20 have just blurred together in my mind. But in any case, I... sleeping on my air mattress, because my old bed was a mattress on the floor. There was a leak in the floor. The bed got moldy on the bottom, and they were like, oh, yeah. Probably shouldn't be sleeping on this. I'm facing away from the door. Or my closet. I was facing away from my closet, which is an open void. No door. Open void of closet. And I wake up. My hands are between my knees. I just kind of get this feeling that I'm stuck. Like I try and move and I can't. And all of a sudden I have this, just this feeling, this bad vibe from behind me. Where I'm like, something bad is behind you. There's a horrible, evil presence behind you. And I'm sitting there like, oh shit. What? I'm having sleep paralysis. What the hell do I do now? And it took like all of my strength. Just to like... move my hand. And try and like break out of it. And I think when I finally did, my muscles caught up to the force I was trying to exert, and I like hit myself in the jaw. I wasn't even mad though, because I was like, oh shit. I'm just glad that's not happening anymore. Oh, ear itches. Oh my god. You know, I've had sleep paralysis, like, twice. But, on a more fun note, I do occasionally lucid dream. That's fun, but it's difficult for me to control the dream. That is very, very difficult thing to do. But I am not infrequently aware that I'm dreaming. I've been able to influence the dream before. Hell, sometimes I just do it subconsciously, and I can just kind of realize in retrospect. Like anytime I go in the water, or like the ocean in a dream, I will subconsciously start thinking about sharks. And then sharks will appear. And it's just, that's what happens. Every time. You again. Awesome. Awesome. Living the dream. Another day in paradise. Another day in paradise. You gotta imagine Sisyphus happy. Speaking of sharks, I had, and this is gonna sound absolutely ridiculous. I had a dream I got tasered by a shark. Basically, we were on this, like, scuba diving journey. And I noticed a shark in the water as we're swimming along this, like, kelp bed. Then I call out. We were, like, open ocean for some reason. Like, I'm trying to get people's attention. Like, hey, there's a goddamn shark out here. You know, we gotta get out of the water. This is a rather large shark, or at least get away from this thing. Keep an eye on it. And it's kind of like stalking us in the background, swimming by, like getting uncomfortably close. And we get out. We get out of the water onto this like floating cage, like a shark cage almost. And we're sitting on the edge. But we like can't get fully out of the water. The cage is it sinks too much. So it's like your legs are in the water. The shark can swim up next to you. And my dad, who used to scuba dive a lot, is there with me. And he pulls out like a cattle prod. It's like, here, don't worry. If the shark gets too close, we'll tase it. And I was like, alright, I guess that makes sense. And we sit there, and it's circling us, and it comes up to us, and I think it got too close to me. And I tried to tase the shark, but I dropped the taser. Or the cattle prod. And it picks it up. Like the shark grabs it with its flipper. And it swims back by. And it jabs that right into my, like, sopping wet wetsuit. And I could feel the electricity, like I felt like... There was like a burning in my chest and my limbs and all of that, and it was... It didn't, like, actually hurt, but it felt like it did in the dream, if you know what I mean. You know, pain is largely mental. You know, it's a bunch of nerve responses, so I think you can feel pain in a dream to some extent. But I fell off the thing and into the water, and I just kind of, like, sat there dazed for a second. And I'm trying to warn everybody and be like, fuck, man, the shark has a taser. But nobody can... Like, I can't even speak. I'm just so, like... I'm so out of it, and I'm, like, struggling to catch my breath. And the shark's making another lap around, and I finally woke up, and I was like, oh shit, okay. No taser sharks, alright. I don't think I went back to sleep after that, and I don't know that you can. There's one thing I'd really love to do, though. I'd love to go scuba diving. I know everyone's like, oh, I'm afraid of the ocean, I'm afraid of the ocean, but, like... God damn, man. Like, who doesn't want to breathe underwater? Tell me you don't. There's you can go scuba diving in freshwater, too. Like, if it's really that bad. I think it'd be cool to go, like, scuba diving in a lake or something. But I really do just want to scuba dive in the ocean. Not anywhere near me, though. Least of all, because, like, most of my nearest beaches are in the Red Triangle. Where all the great whites go to, like, spawn or hunt or breed or whatever it is. And yes, they may bite you once because they mistook you for a seal. And only once. But, you know, holy crap, man, all it takes is once, and then I'm sitting there, bleeding out in the middle of the water. It does not sound like an experience I want to know. That and, I know everyone thinks, like, oh, California beaches, and they are the best. They are, you know, I'm totally biased, but they are. But a lot of the places where I live that you would want to, like, are cool beaches you'd think about scuba diving at, the water here is just so cold and, like, cloudy. Visibility is terrible. If I wanted to go scuba diving, and, like, I really wanted to go, I'd go somewhere, like, tropical. I'd get my dive certification there. Dive as much as I could for, like, 3 days. And then I've got my dive certification and I can go anywhere. If I decide, like, ah, hey, I do want to scuba dive the California coast. I could. That's the only thing is the certification. Some of the stuff they had you do sounded scary. It's largely why I don't want to get dive certified here. Because I have to do all of that, like the compass dive in that cloudy water where you can't see. No, but like ever since I was a kid, I used to snorkel like all the time. Still do whenever I can. I don't go to bodies of water as much anymore. Last time I snorkeled, I went to Millerton. Millerton Lake. Pretty far away from where I live, so, you know, I'm not gonna dox myself by saying that I went there. But we went there because it was like 1,000,000 degrees in Fresno where I was at the time. It's so hot. And we're just like, dude, let's get out of here. Let's go on a camping trip. We initially wanted to go to the national park, which, like, everybody... Like, I know people who work up there. And they're like, oh yeah, we get people from all over the world up here. But this was like really, really early post-COVID. So a lot of places were still kind of skeeved out. And they were only doing day camping. So we're just like, oh shit. You know, can't go there. So we drove all the way from Fresno to the national parks. All the way to Millerton Lake, which was like 2-hour drive, I want to say. Just from there to Millerton. And when we got there, it was even hotter than it was in Fresno. It was just... It was miserable. I always love doing that. Don't love doing that. The lake was nice, though. It's a little muddy, a little messy. But it's not as bad as something like a Avocado Lake. That one always pissed me off. Like, I'm not like a super nature person. I'm not super outdoorsy, but it grinds my gears so much just to see, people, like, pollute, like, lakes and campgrounds and crap. It's just, you don't do that. I was super outdoorsy when I was a kid. Oh, definitely. But I always heard that, you know, leave the campground nicer than you found it. And I suppose a lot of people didn't, or just didn't listen. You know, I've been to the national parks quite a few times. It's pretty good. Those trees are absolutely massive. My favorite destination, though, is like I always like to go to the coast. Love to go to the beach. I went recently, it was like the summer before this one. I went to Santa Cruz with my younger sibling, because they were getting a tattoo. And I just hung out on the beach the whole time. They would text me and be like, hey, you good down there? It might be a while longer, and I just hanging out on the beach doing my thing. Like, yeah, take all the time you need. The only point it became an issue was when the beach started to close. And I may or may not have went on a side quest to a dispensary so I could smoke a joint on the beach. Which I did, and it was great. Santa Cruz, if you're of age and in the area. I say, as someone who smoked weed before it was legal, it's always weird just going into the weed shop. And granted, I don't really smoke anymore. You know, honestly, I think I just grew out of it. I don't really care for being stoned anymore. I did recently when I had a toothache. That was pretty cool. Just getting a pain reliever that wasn't ibuprofen or acetaminophen and wasn't, like, dangerous to my body, but a couple days in, it was just like, yeah, I'm not enjoying this. But you go into the weed shop and it's like, there's this big, like, barred glass window. Oh, I almost missed that. Almost dodged that. There's like a locked door. They're like, can I see your ID? And then they, like, unlock the remote lock with this big heavy click. But then, of course, I go in there and I buy 2 pre-rolled joints and a lighter, and they didn't once ask. They're like, hey, you're not gonna go, like, smoke this immediately after you leave the building, are you? They're just like, oh yeah, okay, here you go. None of my business. So that was cool. that that was a good experience. Oh my god. So yeah, I just spent all day on the beach. And I could spend like 4 days on the beach if I had money for food. And like a tent to sleep in. Spent a lot of it. I was sitting on this rock that was very inland before the tide went in. And then eventually I'm starting to see the waves get closer around me. And they're pulling out less and less distance. I'm just sitting there like, I should probably get out of here. Of course I came back later and I saw how far the tide pulled in, and I was like, oh shit. Good thing I didn't take a nap there or something. You got crossbow and no bolt and arrow, long arms and no melee weapon. There we go. Yeah, apologies if this is like a rambly episode. But, you know, I just gotta talk about something. I can't just sit here and say, fuck, I died a million times. This is the retro exposition dump episode. Dropping all the lore. It's really the kind of thing I should do on stream. I would need to do a test stream. Just see how my internet likes that. It's pretty finicky. I use a mobile hotspot. Okay, so question. Do not all these bandits have guns I could pick up? Is it not possible for me to pick up a Big Bandit or Little Hunter's gun? Oh, nice, 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 nice. What is that skull? It seems significant. No, 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 no. It's up here. Or is it? There's a skull, like a big dinosaur-looking skull. Is there something to it? What was that? Was that trigger fingers? Or stress? Or... I don't remember. Higher ammo max, sure. Okay, I don't think it was trigger fingers. I don't think it was stress. No, that was some kills regenerate ammo. Living the dream. Alright. Yeah, no, I went to the ocean a lot as a kid. Which... living in California, I'm glad. I do genuinely, I love our beaches. They're not... it's not really what you think in a lot of places. Like, I live in more central California. So it isn't like LA, San Francisco sort of thing. Which is immediately what everyone jumps to when you say, oh, I live in California. They're like, oh, so you live in LA? You live in like a... San Diego or somewhere cool like that, and I'm like, nope. I live in middle of nowhere. I live in nowhere, California. It's gonna be the name of my autobiography, Nowhere, California. I joke, but I think I talked about this a little in another episode, but I still do, I just don't do it as much. But I really loved writing at one point, especially in school. But we never got to do the fun kind of writing. It was always like, now we're going to do a response to literature or a persuasive essay. Oh my god. That unlocked a memory. I just remember the time one of my teachers did our class so dirty. She was writing out the schedule on the board of what we were going to do, because it was, and I don't know if you guys had this too, I don't know what the other schools were like. This was a smaller school. We had one teacher for the whole day. We stayed in the same class, for the most part. So she's writing out what we're going to do all day. And at like, 11 p.m. or something, or 11 a.m., she writes like a snow play, because it had snowed. And we all lost our shit. We were like, oh yeah, we're getting to go out in the snow. It's gonna be awesome. It doesn't snow at most of our houses. But where we went to school was pretty high in elevation. So we're all like hyped, and then eventually she's like, oh, 11 a.m. You know what that's time for? And we're like, yeah. And she's like, we're gonna write persuasive essays about why you should be allowed to play in the snow. And I think all of us just became more jaded that day. We all just we lost some respect for authority, lost some hope in humanity. It was... Suffice to say, we did not get to play in the snow. We did occasionally, but there were some times when it snowed and they would, like, deliberately keep us off of or out of the snow. They'd be like, you guys are gonna get wet and cold and complain about it. And it's like, yeah, we will. And it still will have been worth it. That's half of being a kid, is doing things you regret or complain about later, but ultimately was worth it anyway. Yeah, no. It was kind of cool growing up where I did. I mean, I still live there. But, you know, now I'm an adult, and it's like I've got other stuff I want to do, so it's a little bit of the charm has worn off. Oh, damn it. When I was a kid, though, it was awesome. You know, we had like a big creek and a forest behind our house. Oh my god, I used to spend hours back there. Oh, here's one. Like, did you guys have a tree house when you were growing up? Like a... I always kind of had one, but never really. But that was like my first experience with, like, media pressure. Because every show I watched as a kid, like, the kids all had, like, a tree house, and that was where they hung out. So I was sitting there, and I was like, man, apparently I should have a tree house. But I always kind of had one. I more had a fort than I had a tree house. It was like, well, Well, one of them was built around a tree, so that kind of counted, but it wasn't like the, in the nook of a branch with a ladder up to it. My friend had one of those, and I was very jealous. Damn it, get a shish kebab. End up dying. Yeah, like, my dad did the heavy lifting when it came to building, and there was a bunch of stuff my friends and I tacked on ourselves. So we just had this big, we had this big, like, bundle of wood. With a lot of, like, flat pieces that kind of looked like boards. We just, like, nail crap onto it. Be like, yay, we're building stuff. That was not the slugger. Just kind of came up, shot the guy in the arm once, and stood there. I don't know, with all the wandering and, like, exploring I did as a kid, I'm amazed I didn't just get eaten by a mountain lion and never seen again. Like, I probably could have ended up some, like, missing 411-esque scenario where I just wandered off into some obscure part of my property, got eaten, and was never seen again. But I didn't, and I'm still here. Even if I did almost get bitten by a rattlesnake once. I was being a little careless and was climbing around some rocks. And I'm kind of like sliding down on my butt. And I sort of, my knees are held up close to me, and I'm sliding them down towards the next ledge I'm trying to get on. This big, like, shelf of rocks that kind of overlap each other. And by the time I do, my feet just kind of barely touch the ground, and I hear that, like, I don't even know if that picked up on the mic, but, like, you know the sound a rattlesnake makes. I hear the rattling. And I, very stupidly, I jerked my feet up as quick as I could. Did not get bit. But I just kind of sat there afterwards and I was like, oh my god, I could have scared that thing and had it bite me. And just, like, been in the worst pain for several hours. If not days. I had to have gone to the hospital and get antivenom. Like, what is this thing? Is it significant? Is there a secret I'm not aware of? Oh my god. If I have to talk about something, just get my mind off the fact that I'm busting my ass trying to make any progress. how he goes. This is the melting bee skin experience. I died. I died. I died. I died whilst talking about how I almost died. Oh no, I have not had many near-death experiences in my life. It's like 2 that I can think of. Because I probably would have survived that rattlesnake encounter. It'd have sucked, but I would have lived. One of them, and this was up there with potentially one of the stupidest things I ever did as a child. Yeah, probably the worst one. But my older sister came into the house kind of exasperated one day and was like, "Man, Retro, don't ever put floaties on your feet. Because I did that and I almost drowned." And me being a dumb kid was like, "You're not gonna hide the secrets of walking on water from me. You think I don't know what your game is?" And I put floaties on my feet in the pool. In our above-ground pool. You know, those big rubber ones. And I immediately realized why that was a terrible idea. It was an instant case of, like, curiosity to regret. I started, like, sinking down because now my feet want to float and I can't really kick with them. And I had to, like, awkwardly flop my way over to the side of the pool. And I finally got there, and I grabbed onto it, and I managed to kick the floaties off my feet. I was just sitting there like, oh god. I just could have almost died. Oh no, I think I, like, kicked them off and, like, went back to swimming. Because, like, when you're a kid, you don't think about stuff like that. And the other time, I was riding my bike, because apparently I grew up in a different decade, and that was, like, most of what I did for fun. Be like, I'm gonna go ride bikes, or hang out at the town store. Oh, excuse me. And I was coming home from a friend's house. And I was just kind of biking on the road. Like you usually did, you heard a car coming, and you'd get out of the way. This one came up faster than I was expecting. And I just kind of froze. Like, I didn't know what to do or what was going on in my head. And the car swerved around me. And I just sat there with, like, very shaky legs, like... And I was older when this happened. I was, like, 12 to 14 or something. But I just sat there like, oh my god. I just almost died. Whew. Surely I'm over the... I'm a decent amount over the episode budget. Okay. One more good college try and we end this. Oh my god. I'm gonna go demolish that mint chip ice cream I have in the freezer. Mint chip is a good flavor. Banana ice cream. is the best flavor. Only problem? Where the hell do you buy banana ice cream in bulk? Like, where do you buy large quantities of banana ice cream? You can't do it. It's impossible. I can never find it. You gotta buy those expensive little Ben & Jerry's that are tiny, but they're so good, so full of sugar and just random stuff you'd want to eat. They have a Ben & Jerry's with potato chips in it. I know that's probably not weird. But it feels weird. One more go. Just one more. Just one throne. No. The best Ben & Jerry's flavor ever was Bob Marley One Love, and I don't say that just because I used to be a huge stoner, but like, is banana ice cream with fudge peace signs and like a cinnamon or graham cracker swirl. That stuff was the best. Shortly after that, a banana split. Banana split was amazing. Not quite as good as the One Love because it's got peanuts, and I know I said one more, but we're gonna do just two more. 3. That was fate intervening, and I'm gonna turn the car the other direction. This is gonna take all day to upload. It's gonna kill my phone battery. 4 more. Now that the tilt is gone, I'm addicted to trying. Trying and talking about random nonsense. Oh yeah, like I said, Ben & Jerry's is great. However, they have a lot of flavors that just don't do it for me. Like, you guys are the Taco Bell of ice cream. Do your weird, unconventional stuff. Don't make like a vanilla ice cream. It may be one of the better vanilla ice creams, but, I mean, you're Ben & Jerry's. It's like, this is my gripe with Taco Bell. Taco Bell is not good Mexican food. It's not. And I live in a place where you can get some pretty decent Mexican food. The good stuff is made in, like, at least in my experience, and, you know, granted, I'm no authority. But the best stuff I had is always at, like, a smaller, well-regarded, but not, like, gitchy restaurant. It's not like a hipster place. Or like a real rough-looking grease cart. That's either going to be the best or worst Mexican food of your life. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to Taco Bell and thinking, oh yes, I want some good Mexican food. No, we go there because it's cheap, it's easy, and they have the weird and wild stuff. Like, the only thing I used to eat at Taco Bell was either the loaded potato griller or the XXL grilled stuffed burrito. Steak, chicken, regular beef, it didn't matter. The XXL burrito, that was like a forearm burrito, and it was, oh, the best when you were stoned or drunk or 5 more. Just hungry. It was great. They stopped making it. They stopped making a lot of the weirder stuff. Like Taco Bell, we came to you for the weird stuff. And then there's... My friends don't get this. My friends think I'm like a Crunchwrap hater. I'm not. However, I have some discrepancies with it. It's not bad. It doesn't taste bad. That's not the issue. The issue is that the Crunchwrap is just like... It's a glorified soft taco folded into a hexagon with some different sauce, and they charge you like $2, $3 more for it. It's just... It irks me. And everyone's like, oh, the Crunchwrap, the Crunchwrap. It's like, man... It's a fine soft taco. They just folded it into a fun shape for you and charged you more money. I don't hate the breakfast Crunchwrap, because that's at least a little different. But I'm sure it's like another item on their menu. And before you make the argument that like, oh, the grilled XXL grilled stuffed burrito was just the regular burrito but bigger, it's like, exactly. That was the point. That was the whole appeal. I have a problem, guys. I have a problem. Oh, damn, what are my other fast food opinions? I think this is one we can all agree on. Burger King is not good. Burger King is just... They're not good. Carl's Jr. is even worse, though. My main gripe with Burger King was, like... And I feel like the Impossible Whopper proved this. Their burgers don't taste like anything. Like, they don't taste like actual meat. They just taste like the seasoning. And if you can make one of your burgers out of no beef at all, and have people say, like, oh, it tastes just like it, I think that's just a testament to the fact that your burgers didn't taste like beef to begin with. Personally, I had one and I thought it kind of tasted like cat food. The texture was a little weird, too. And, like, honestly... If you want good veggie burgers, you could just get them frozen. Like, let's not keep... Like, let's not sustain Burger King any longer. We as a society have evolved past the need for them. Same with Carl's Jr. They're like... Jesus Christ, man. I've never eaten Carl's Jr. and, like, not felt gross afterwards. Their burgers, they're just so greasy. And bad. And they're expensive. Oh my god, Carl's Jr., it just costs so much money. I could probably talk for hours about fast food stuff and my various opinions. However, that's gonna have to wait. From the moment I decided I was just gonna talk about stuff and not get tilted, this episode has run for double its intended length. Well, in any case, I hope you enjoyed that very long, rambling episode about nothing in particular. And I will see you in the next one. However, though, I will say, I'm always looking to refine my craft, so to speak, and improve my videos. So, you know, if you guys have feedback, you got stuff you would or wouldn't like to see, as long as you're respectful about it, I will always appreciate advice, feedback, criticism, whatever. With that said, I will actually see you in the next one now. Peace.